If we die, we'll go to bed, but we haven't died in quite a while. Alright, so we're looking for Staff of Auto Casting, or Lucky Hat. There's Lucky Hat. We have Armor, Frying Pan, Defender's Halberd, Slippery Cloak, and Sturdy Belt. This looks pretty solid. I just woke up on my free day from EU. Well, that's nice, but yeah, it's currently 1:30 a.m. over here. Luckily, work got canceled tomorrow, so I'm staying up a little later, streaming for you guys. Alright, drinks. We're going Evil Infusion, Frenetic Eruption, Wicked Sickness, Starlight Stinger, and Elemental Bruiser. Good morning though. Let's see, we're going to go Cedric. Get our resistances as more damage and more mana regen. And we'll go Wilmer. Hey, we have enough to get him to level 10. Let's do that. Level 10 Wilmer, and I'm trying to get all my guys to level 10. I don't play the casters as much as the primary builds, so I've been kind of neglecting their statues a little bit, but finally going back and trying to get all of them up to level 10. Did we do everything? We didn't do the fountain. So fountain, gentle trap, topple tower, safe corridors, plentiful gifts. Let's also do blast walk, treasure hunt, demolish spawners, monoliths, or abundant shops. We're gonna go abundant shops. And I think I want to keep lousy consumables, or regular consumables. So we'll go Overseers, Elevators Unusable, Agile, Dry Springs. And we go Relentless Threats. It should be pretty fine. Yeah, it's a little cheaper than normal too. And let's buy some ore. Okay. Donate to the fountain. I'll also need to update my title real quick. So let's do that. This is going to be NG+12 Solo Warlock. Now that I found your build guides, I feel too OP in the runs and wish they had portals from the start. Hey, it'll get hard eventually, but I'm glad you're having so much success with it, to be honest. Have you just been going off of like the builds I've been putting on YouTube, or the Discord stuff, or a combination? There we go, now we're in combo. It's always interesting to figure out like how people actually find me. I know YouTube does a lot for me. Even though it still seems like a pretty small community on YouTube that are following this game. Looking for guides on YouTube. Nice. Okay, we got a gift waiting for us. What we got? Looking for people that were streaming the game. Nice. So it's like just a perfect... Yeah, there's a small community on both sides. On Twitch, there's only a few people that stream, and same goes for like YouTube. There's only a few people that do anything on YouTube, and a lot of the stuff is like really old. There's not like any new stuff. So what I've basically been doing is just uploading all my runs to YouTube, and then I'll do some additional guides when I have time. Saw the game first on Admiral Bakru, around 6K viewers, but he stopped after a week. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Every time that someone comes over, like, to play the game, like big streamers that just play other games and just kind of show up for like a few days. I mean, they're only playing from like level 1 to like 20, and then they stop playing. So there's kind of a niche of like, if you wanted to play this game and like really get into it, how are you gonna find that information, you know? It just like doesn't exist. Ramsey05 streamed it for some hours and never touched it again. Yeah, I don't know who some of these people are, but that's fine. Alright, we're gonna take the Buddha speed. We want to go fast. We want more life, and we can block projectiles or we can get magic resist. Magic resist is also damage, so I think I'm just gonna go magic resist. I do like the block from the helm, but it's pretty inconsistent. 20%. It's not a lot. I think the biggest problem is the solo start from 0. It takes too long when you're playing solo. That could be. I've seen a lot of streamers come over with a lot of viewers and they just like, just play in groups the whole time. And as someone that mainly plays solo, it's kind of not really what I'm looking for. I want to see people that are playing like high NG solo and see how they do it, right? So that's kind of how I got into it. Like, I first started watching someone that was doing that, and I was having issues with like my build or how I was playing or something, and wanted to start streaming to just get like advice on like what I was doing wrong. You have the frying pan already? Oh, that's true. Yeah, I can go into rooms backwards if I need to. But anyway, yeah, I want to get some advice on like how I was playing, and then from there, just kind of was like, information for this game is impossible to get. Let me make some of that. So I'm like definitely not like a professional content creator or anything like that. Didn't use any editing software before this. Also, I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on it, and I haven't. So it's just like a nice little like side thing for fun. Give me some keys. It's also nice to help like people out in the community. I'm in the like official Here's a Hammerwatch Discord, but like too many questions for me to ever answer everyone. So I usually just kind of chill, read about like what some other people are doing, and then I find the builds that work best for me, and I show them to you guys after I test them out. And, you know, people will come by. Like, there's a lot of people that play way more than me for this game, and they'll come by the stream and hang out and, you know, talk about builds and skills and item comparisons and when to attune what and statues. All kinds of stuff. It's kind of cool. I don't want to take the spikes. Yeah, so the reason I play like that There's you can't leech out the first boss on the spellcasters, so I don't want to spend all my mana or all my life with Evil Infusion by dropping stuff everywhere and not being able to leech at all. So I try to like play it really slow. You can at least wait till the bats show up and then leech off the bats. Bought 12 Heroes of Hammerwatch keys for my friends and gifted them. We play sometimes together, evenings doing 1 or 2 runs. Hey, that's cool. I have a friend that recently picked up the game, but it kind of has like a big barrier to entry for the game. Like, he only really wants to play with, you know, like me pretty much. He wants to play with someone else the whole time. But his town and everything is so like not developed, and all his characters, you know, NG0 and all that. So he wants to play together, but my characters are all like way too overpowered. So there's like a weird balance of I want to play like a downskilled character or play a new character with him, or just carry him so he can get crazy ore and upgrade his whole town real quick. Because I've already done the grind myself. Not really looking to do it again. Which is another reason I haven't really made like actual starter guides, because I feel like to do it right I would have to start a new profile and start from scratch and like show how you would level from the beginning. And that sounds like more work than I want to do. So usually my guides are focused towards, once you get to NG2, this is what you start doing. This is how you become successful. And then I guess by the time you're done with my guides, you like know the game well enough to make your own like builds, so you don't have to really, or at least you have like a general understanding of like, oh, I can change this and this affects this. Yo, MJ Lee, welcome back. What's up? We are just grinding some runs. This is gonna be our last run for the night, but we've done like 5 or 6 runs, maybe 7 runs tonight. Getting our characters up there. Chainmail or sphere? I want the sphere. Thank God you can speedrun them. But I wanted to kill myself. Oh, the pyramid runs. Yeah, that's why I recommend doing Thief or Pyramid, or Thief or Paladin for the Pyramid. Because if you do a slow character, like if you're doing Wizard or some other slow character, especially a squishy character, you're eventually going to get to the point where you can't do like NG5, you know, with your character. And then you're going to have to start over on the Paladin or the Thief anyway. And that doesn't feel good. When you already don't want to do it, you have to start all the way over. Yeah, just dash to all the exits. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I would definitely start with old map, or like any run you're doing in the pyramid. It's just, yeah, it's worth the time. Do you play with on full screen too? I have the resolution 1280 by 720, but I don't like full resolution because tabbing out is pretty annoying. Yeah, I'm on borderless, or yeah, I'm full screen. But I have 2 monitors, so I have this monitor over here, and then I have a monitor I'm gaming on. So I just can press like the Windows key and move to the other monitor if I need to. Does the 1280 give you the zoomed out graphics? Do you see how much stuff like I can see on the screen? I've only ever seen that with these 1300 ones. It said 1280 by 720. I can't even do that one. Oh well. Oh, I guess it just depends on your monitor. As long as you're playing zoomed out, then you're doing it right. That's like my most asked question, is how is like your screen so zoomed out? The 1368 by 786 doesn't work for you? Huh. I guess it just depends on your monitor. Yo, we did something. We dodged all the things. Another accomplishment. What do you mean zoomed out? Alright, I'll show you in a second. So this isn't like normal, like baseline. Most people go to the graphics, they go to the resolution, and they bump it up to the highest one. This is what the highest one looks like. You don't see like anything. But if you adjust it, I think like almost the smaller you go, the better it looks. So even this one's like more normal, is what most people probably see. But if you adjust the graphics to, at least for me, the 1360, you zoom out a ton. So I can see like all of this over here, where before it was like this square. I can see all this extra stuff. So that's what I mean by zoom out. There's our combo. It's weird because like every other game you just want to put on the highest resolution. Also, we have the lines now. I think I gotta change it again. Maybe it depends on drivers too. I'm using AMD graphics card. Can't choose 1280 720 in the settings. Need to edit in the config. Yeah, I have a NVIDIA card, so I don't know. I don't know much about that, to be honest. I know that in certain resolutions I get these lines, so let me change it again. I still have the lines. They normally go away when I change it. Alright, there we go. Got rid of the lines somehow. I don't know what we did, but they eventually went away. Gold fever. Yo, Elite Noob, you're back. Let's see, the RNG god was with me. Phoenix Feather, 4 Kings, 5 Marks, no Dragon Scale though. That's still pretty good, dude. That's pretty much perfect run. Why isn't exactly a high-res game? Don't know why people think jacking up the resolution would do anything. Yeah, I mean it's pixel art, so you really need to just pick whatever looks best, but yeah. Some people just put on the highest resolution or like the default, and the default just doesn't give you as much screen as this. So that's like my number one YouTube comment that I get in like every single video. Which is fine. It's just crazy like that that many people have like an issue with it. Not that it's their fault, it's just that whatever's up with the game, why the higher resolution looks like a worse resolution for some reason. I don't really understand. Because the higher resolution is supposed to look better, it's supposed to have more pixels per square inch, but as you put the resolution higher, it actually looks worse. What res do you use? I use 1360 by 780 or 768. I don't know why I said 780. But from what we've just been talking about, it's going to be different for whatever your monitor is. But from what I've seen, most people need to use the one I'm using, or at least that's what I've commented on most of my videos, and people are like, oh, thank you, that works. So I assume that that means it works for them. And they use the resolution I said. I usually tell them one of the 1300 ones, because there's two different ones. Hey, ring of transmutation. So long, mana issues. We weren't really even having mana issues. The soul consumption just keeps your mana up like all the time, as long as you're able to hit some stuff. Want to see what I use real quick? Yeah, sure. Or at least let's hear it. Or if you want to post it in the Discord, I'll look at it later. I don't know what medium we're talking about. Oh, we have a shop. Let's go shopping. Keyring, alright, we'll take a keyring. What we got? We got Lucky Horseshoe, Markham's. Go Markham's, Luck. Guess we'll go Tower Shield. What's my level looking like? 76. We've only gained one level. Same as you. 1360 by 768. Yep, sounds about right. I think that's what most people use. I guess it just depends on your monitor. Like I have a 24-inch monitor. So what class should I level next? What are your current NGs? I try to keep everyone kind of around the same, but that's probably going to change at some point. Like once everybody gets to level 20, I'll probably just start leveling things to whatever I can get up to. Like it feels like I should grind a bunch of Paladin levels at some point, and then grind a bunch of Gladiator levels. I know you like your melee dudes. I mean me, because I need Ranger and Wizard, and Glad and Priest. I wouldn't say you need Wizard. His bonus is kind of whatever. Thinking Glad. Glad's super good. If you're just thinking about it for the title, Glad for sure. If you're talking about having fun, I would say the Ranger. The Ranger is super fun. I've been really impressed with the Ranger build. Yo, I'm stuck. That wasn't good. We didn't take like any damage somehow, but felt like we were seconds away from dying. Trying to get them all to 10. What is your gladiator right now? 4. Yeah, you can definitely play some gladiator then. Those are probably like some of his funnest levels, the lower ones. He just does so much damage. Hey, the popcorn ring. Yeah, we popping popcorn now. Alright. Oh, he just runs away instantly. Don't do that. He's never gonna come back down. Didn't get into combo. It's a little sketch, but we did it. Is the res how you zoom out so far? Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, there's like other console commands, but that's how my default is so zoomed out. Is yours basically like mine though? Like where it's zoomed out most of it? I need to look up commando. I mean, I'm just talking about the forced aspect ratio thing. I wouldn't recommend doing that for like actual gameplay. Mine looks just like that. I think this is the highest resolution, or not resolution, but this is the most you can see on the screen at once without like making it ultra widescreen. There's like some things that you can do, like the console command, forced aspect ratio 3.2, and so you can zoom out like super far. But you know, it's like so tiny. I would use this like maybe for arenas. What did we just get? Trickster. So we got 2-piece Trickster. Only difference from your display is that I roll borderless. Yeah, I don't think the borderless and full screen really makes too much of a difference. Just as long as you can get the resolution are pretty much good. Any other details, doesn't matter. You just need to see as much as possible. It makes the game experience like way better. Got a great threat. I keep forgetting I put on like relentless threats. Alright, we're done here. And we're at level 77, so 3 to go. I'm like constantly worrying about levels, but I want to tune all my items, and on my higher level characters I want to use the bestiary, because I feel like it's just super important. It just gives you more strength than if you don't level. There's like no reason not to do it. It's just I guess being lazy is the reason not to do it. Being lazy, but it's not really like a good strategy. I'm gonna buy my items while I can. Alright, old map. Triggers combo when drinking a potion. Okay, we want Frostbrand and Quickness. This is kind of like a weird setup. We could take the 4-piece Apothecary, but I don't really want to rely on potions. Spell crit. I don't want to rely on potions like at all. So we'll just look to attack faster. We should get soul consumption faster. Yo. Alright, can't run through the red guys. That hurts. Ooh, alright. Well, we almost died. Alright, that's a good damage item. So I think if we can get through Act 4, then we're pretty much good on this run. Just because the Wisp, they really like tear up our caster. I think it's just like a combination of having like low base health and getting hit by like a couple of projectiles at the same time. Just almost kills you. Jeez, even that like did a lot of my damage, or a lot of my health. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, I always find that Apothecary's items weird. Yeah, I used to like him a little more. Now it's just that one is good. The this one is decent. Gives you increased armor and magic resist if you just use it against dragon. But it kind of has like the idea that like you think you're gonna get hit, and you can really dodge like all of the dragon's attacks. Potions are just not reliable. So I've recently reattuned my anvil to not include any of the apothecary items because they're just not good enough for stars in my opinion. I rarely use drinks. Like, I almost died like twice and I still didn't use a drink. It's just, your character's either completely fine or yeah, you're dying. Alright, what we got? Another item. Dude, these imps are trolling me tonight. You don't want to have to use them. Yeah, that's another thing. Is like, you always want to save them for like the perfect time to use them. You end up just never using them. So, in a way, you should just not have them. Ooh, King's Regalia. Alright, so that'll at least help. Or, is that Amulet Kings? Yeah, Amulet Kings. So that'll help with the issue we were just talking about. Getting blown up by wisps. So I don't want to die to wisp. I also just need to make sure I'm like moving away from exploding wisps constantly. Especially around corners and whatnot. Make big circles away from the enemies. Also, we just found an ace key. Thanks, keyring. I'll probably attune the wisp at some point on my casters. I just haven't gotten there on the Warlock yet. So he still has some items that he needs attuned. Let's see, is it worth the tuning spell items on Thief and Glad? I'm really up in the air about Glad. I kind of feel like the answer is no. At least not early. Maybe something like Scepter of Kings, but like some of the other ones are kind of... It doesn't hurt, it's just the priority is kind of low. But I play him purely as a primary build, so I kind of ignore everything except his left click and his right click. Unless like some special cases where I'm doing a boss or something, but I don't really expect those abilities to do damage. They're just kind of there. Okay, there's our Great Threat coming. So it's probably worth it eventually, but I wouldn't rush for it. And there's probably some like bestiary tuning you're going to do first. With NG+20 you have every item attuned. You can, yeah. You can have it before 22, depending on how much Pyramid of Prophecy you do and depending on your guild level. But yeah, generally around NG+20 is when you get everything attuned. Let's see, anything else? I think we've got everything. So yeah, that's one thing you can do is just say, I'm gonna attune every item and then start working on the bestiary. It really depends how much you're struggling against enemies. Like, I would probably attune some of these wisps before I do a lot of the primary items on this character. Stuff like Frostbrand, Firebrand. I would like to get everything done, but I want to be able to progress the game. If you can't progress, it's not really worth it. Alright, so this will be our hardest ritual. Oh, that Ring of Tea though. A lot of thieves I see just spam Fan of Knives. Yeah, I spam it too, but I don't really expect it to do a ton of damage. But Thief's kind of a different character. I think it's worth getting spell power on Thief eventually. But like Gladiator, you don't really have anything to spam that does damage. There used to be a Thief build that you could scale the skills and just do all the damage with the skills. But now it's mainly primary, and you can do the skills as well. But you're mainly looking at primary damage. But some stuff is just worth it, like a spell book that gives you an additional 10 skill power, but it's like 2 piece is another 5 skill power. So you get 25 skill power if you like see it in the shop and you already have an item. So yeah, you should probably buy that. 25 skill power is pretty significant, but and like for Scepter of Kings, you get some really good skill power there. There's like some items that just are kind of like, I don't know if that's worth it. So I would just do those items a little later. So Thief, I would do like evasion, all your health, or your armor, all your crit, all your luck. Do all that stuff first, and then go back and do skill power. If you're still doing fine in the game where you don't have to worry about any enemies, then look at doing all your spell power. So like Pally auto scale, right, with skill power? No, it doesn't. That scales with attack power, even though it's magic damage. He has a passive that gives him flat magic on his primary, which I think is where we're getting confused. It's like, yeah, Pally does physical on his primary, but he has a passive that gives a stacking magic damage buff to his primary up to like 32 times, which is technically magic damage and is technically from a passive skill, but it adds all the damage to his primary skill, so it doesn't scale with skill damage. But he don't more magic damage than physical. I remember, yeah, every character does more magic than physical. Because every primary build, which are all the ones that do physical damage, they run Incendiary Demise, which adds 40 damage to their physical, or their primary, which is always more damage than the flat damage that their skills actually do. So it ends up making their magic damage higher than their physical, because that 40 scales with primary, or attack power. Does 12 magic at first rank and scales up to 24 at second. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's like Flames of Devotion or something. So yeah, even though it's a passive skill, the skill doesn't actually do damage. It augments his primary skill. 2-piece kings. Well, we got the armor and we got the resist. And we have 1.5 levels to go, so we gotta kill most things. Chakram. But the primary needs to but the Pally needs to swing primary to get stacks. Very true. So Wanda Spell Piercing or Stinger better for Paladin and Thief? Wanda Spell Piercing, for sure. You do like way more magic damage than physical damage, and all your items, most of them do magic damage. Because yeah, you get the 24 flat from the primary that we're talking about. You also get the 40 flat magic damage from Incendiary Demise. So you're getting 64 flat magic. His actual ability does like 18 damage? Something like that. So you're doing way more magic than physical. Because it all scales as well. It just scales off primary. Okay, so the damage does count as magic, just like attack power. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if your primary damage does magic or if it does physical. Attack power increases the damage of your primary attack. Skill power increases the damage of your skills, which is just everything over here. Doesn't matter what type of damage they do. This gets increased with your skill power. This gets increased by your attack power. And the only exception is the Blessing, Divine. This counts as a second primary. All the Divines count as a second primary, so they scale off primary. And all items scale off skills. Or skill power. Yeah, Paladin cares about attack power. You just have to read it all like super literally. A three-piece kings, feels good. We can finish off this run in style. The Warlock is the most confusing because he does a primary attack that does 0 damage, like up front, but he puts a debuff on it that does magic damage, and it doesn't leech, but it gives you attack and mana as it deals damage. It's like super wonky. So if anything like confuses the minds of new players, it's the difference between primary and skill damage and it being like magic. Because it's weird that the wizard's primary is a fireball, which sounds like a skill that does magic damage that should be increased by skill power, but it's not. Yeah, he was a pain to figure out because he's the first class I made. Yeah, I played the old Warlock. I should not be new with 250 hours in the game. There's a lot of stuff I have to relearn every time I come back to the game because I forget all that stuff. So I'm sure you're in the same boat. You just forget things. Because some of it is just not intuitive. It's kind of backwards what you would normally think. And I think that's why it's hard to like remember. Because it seems like the wizard is like casting fireball, but he's not. He's just attacking with fireball. Staff of autocasting. Wait. Oh my goodness. We crafted the wrong item at the very beginning of this run. And we just didn't notice. We still did plenty of damage. Huh. So now we have 47.2 crit with our 12 luck. Okay. Oh, I hate this trap. I might just use potions. Oh, never mind. We don't have to. I can't believe I was running with Heartseeker this whole time and just like figured it out. Also, Dragon Scale Mail. What's up? So the wizard does not do much damage with auto though. It's the passive. Yeah, it's Combustion and the Scorched Earth that does all the damage. Because if you look at his skills, the Fireball does 20 damage per hit. And it does like a little AoE, but Combustion does 20 damage per second with the passive. and Scorched Earth does 16 damage per second. So you're doing way more like skill damage than you are primary damage. Yeah, the dot and the area are like super good. Alright, send this money to town. Alright, give me some ore. That's the next best option. We technically haven't shopped yet. What else we got? Sword of Kings. Here comes a wand. Alright, we'll take the wand. Guess we'll take the scarab. And we'll take the sword just in case we get the 5-piece. And it does do more damage with our primary, which gives us more mana and life back. So, not irrelevant. Just not something you normally go after. Is this NG2? Pretty much. When you start your run with -1 item, because you did Heartseeker instead of Staff of Autocasting for your crit mage build. I like how no one noticed that either. There's like big chillin', no big deal. I was not here for that. Fair enough. Well, I'm sure YouTube's gonna enjoy that. Hey, 3-piece Markhams. Oh, and that's why you got the, that's why I picked up the other piece of Kings, so we could set ourselves up to get the 5-piece. Sweet. So I was getting my characters ready for acting MHW. I don't know what you're saying. Attack and MHW. So Spike Flow adds +3 Fizz to pally damage to primary attack. Is that good? It's not as good as magic. So there's like some other items that are good. Do I have one? There's one item that gives you 2 magic and 2 physical. It's like Wizards something. But like it's decent. It's just it doesn't scale with all your magic stuff. Like, you normally take Blessing of Intellect on most primary builds, and this is going to scale up that magic damage as well. I think Paladin I take Mana Regen still, until I get my Sorcerer up a little higher, but... Spike Flow is good, but it's not the best. I guess is the way to put that. Oh, Monster Hunter World. Okay. I had a couple of friends that played it, but I never got into it. Okay, because it's not attack power, so it doesn't scale well. It scales off attack power. Hey, we're sending our gold to town. it adds flat damage to your primary. Your primary scales off of attack power, so it scales off of attack power. Another piece of Markham's. But the Fizz side of things. The Fizz side still scales with attack power. It just doesn't scale with magic penetration. It'll scale with physical penetration. But your physical, the amount of physical you do on your character is way less than your magic. So, even if you have like, let's say you do 10 damage, but you have 100 physical penetration, and it makes your 10 damage into 20 damage, but you're still dealing like 2,000 magic damage. So like, it wasn't really a big increase from the 10 to 20 when you're doing so much magic damage. But everything still scales. See, I know why you like Wizard One more, because it's +2 to both. Yeah, but specifically because it's +2 to magic. And magic scales with your magic penetration, so if you're using like Mage Bane, you're going to do more damage with the magic side. You're not going to do more damage with the physical side. If you're using Blessing of Intellect, you're going to do more magic damage with the... Or you're going to do more damage with the magic side, but not more damage with the physical side. I like grindy games like Warframe, Monster Hunter World, Here's a Hammerwatch, obviously. Nice. I have Warframe downloaded, but I never got into it. I'm spending too much time playing this and Path of Exile. I could have some runs easier if I knew what I was doing. It takes a little bit to get used to. You just gotta go in here, you gotta read it, and you gotta say, I'm reading this, it says increase damage done by primary attack. This is labeled as primary attack, so you know that this increase of 742%, that is going to be applied to this 20 magic damage per second. And that's how you'd calculate how much damage you do. But it gets complicated. I mean, I don't think I have any flat damage. Oh, I do, I have Frostbrand. So Frostbrand gives me, this isn't attuned, gives me +5 magic damage on primary attack. I don't actually know how it works on this. I guess this does 5 primary, so it goes from 0 to 5, and then that gets scaled with my attack power, which then gets scaled more because I have Blessing of Intellect, and I also have a Wand somewhere in here. I think I have Mage Bane somewhere in here. I guess I don't have Wand of Spell Piercing. Yeah, I used to not like the frost item as much. Yeah, the flat damage is a lot though. It's definitely underwhelming at first because it's just like, oh, 5 damage, but now it's like, oh wow, 5 damage. And then you attune it and you get 10 damage, and you attune the other one and you get 20 damage, and you get the set bonus together and you have 30 damage. 30 damage is almost another Scenario Demise. Oh, I need to kill all this stuff. I need to level. I want to level. Let's see, but I'll likely start using them more now that I know how it works. Yeah. It's really good damage. If you're looking for damage, it's a really good item to find. Hey, Wand of Spell Piercing. Makes my Frostbrand and everything even better. And the Warlock, since none of his skills are hybrid, it basically just increases my damage by 30%. A little bit of diminishing returns because I already have some magic penetration, but the idea is still the same. When it's just a shop of crap. You can definitely find some good stuff. You may just have been thinking it was crap. It's not actually as crappy as you think. Wow, 31 bronze keys. Thanks, Keyring. Phoenix Feather. Alright. We have our Protection Monolith, we have a Phoenix Feather, we have our Dragon Scale Mail. We have probably everything we could possibly want. And we have a ton of damage. I forgot about the ton of damage part. Alright, if we look at Warlock, let's look at our stats. Damage dealt 86 million, physical 1.2 million, and magical 85. So Warlock is all about the magic damage. So magic penetration, very important, because physical penetration we do nothing because we don't do like any physical damage. Yeah. Oh, we only got up to 90%. Oh well. Alright, let's see if we have some things we want to attune. Arkham's Mace. We'll probably do it all eventually. Go with attack speed. I guess I like doing green items first, just because I get more of them, and you pretty much find green items more, so I'll have these upgrades more often, which would be nice. Stinger. Stinger doesn't do like anything. But the blue items give you bigger bonuses. I'm gonna do all of these actually. First. And probably just all of these. Get the extra damage. Might do Ring of Mana at one point, but don't expect to do the other rings. See, but stuff like Stiletto, it's probably not worth the stars on Warlock because he just doesn't do any physical damage. Same goes with Stinger. But something like Wand of Spell Piercing is amazing. But Stinger, if you have 2 million physical damage and you increase it by 40%, you're only getting up to maybe 2 million. And that's nothing compared to the 90 million you're doing with magic damage. So that's why you kind of have to know like what kind of damage your character's doing and how these items kind of fit into it. But anyway, that is our Warlock NG+12 run.